Second one, and that's what you want.
I'm going to be honest with you, Gary. I think Hadji killed it with his shoulder, knocked it down him. That's just a personal thought, you know.
Your favourite Hadji. They've all got to do their bit, haven't they? And but for the boy to have the kind of instinct just to swipe at it and get it in the goal was brilliant. And then our captain, again, our manager said we need performances like that for our captain, and what a great performance it was. Cool, calm and collected with the 2 penalties as well.
You got it shown, Gary?
No.
We need performances like that for our captain. Right, we'll pass it on to the technical department. I'm sure they'll sort it out.
It's good hearing yourself back.
Strange, isn't it? We'll just stay like the boys sort it out. Hopefully that's it. No. I think hopefully. Nope, not yet. Just give us a couple of minutes and hopefully we'll sort all this out. Thank you. Right, that's us, I think. Hopefully, carry on. Gary, glad that's all sorted. You hear me, Gary? Oh, Bridgeman?
That's me back.
I can hear you, pal. I can hear you.
You're fine, Bridge. On you go, Gary.
Here is Ox, aye.
Aye, that's it. Everything seems to be sorted, aye. So you were saying a good performance.
Aye, good performance, like I said, with Tav. And then the big surprise, I've been talking about Jordan Jones for the last couple of weeks, right? When I was surprised I'm getting on the flight to Gibraltar. Great performance, Will.
Good goal, mate. Good goal.
Good composure as well. Didn't panic, and good. That just shows you the quality the guys got. And like the manager said as well in his interview after the game, he said that if I get performances like that, then he'll be in the team basically. So I hope this kickstarts him. This might be another added signing in a sense. A guy that
good player. Good player.
Yep. So, overall brilliant performance and a great win, especially to a hard place like Motherwell. I was expecting it to be a bit of a rugby game, but not. To be fair to them, they came out and played.
So, still getting issues. Hopefully the boys are on it. But great result, great performance, great 3 points, and a real team performance, Gary.
Yep. When I was watching back, even the highlights, it was showing you a wee bit of what happened after Jordan Jones scored. Everybody around him, everybody was on top of him. I think they were over the moon that boy got his goal, and it must be hard for somebody coming to a strange country and a new team and stuff like that, and and he is young as well. So it was just that it's great to see the team all coming together and all happy for each individual getting their goals. It's no like one guy wanting to take all the credit. So that's what will win you trophies. I mean, a team that sticks together and works together.
Right. We talked last night. We talked about the defence, particularly Bridgman. You can come in there. We talked about the boys' fullbacks and done. We looked at the forwards. We all thought Morelos, Jones got a bit of praise. Kent had a quiet game, but still done okay. That just shows you the high standards the boys set. But we never really looked to the midfield last night, Bridgman. I know that's the brains of the team. That's the heart of the team. You know, the midfield. Where all the football players go, Bridge. You know, all the guys that make things happen. The workers, the intelligent football players are all there. You know, you've got your stookies that you put in the back. The big guys, right? You're centre half. The ones that can't play, you hide them at full back, and then your football players you put in the middle.
Oh, brilliant! I said the other night, like our midfield. I thought our midfield would. I give them top marks for all the team, great. But the midfield I thought were absolutely outstanding. To a man, absolutely outstanding. I was stuck, for man of the match, I was really stuck between all three of them. Because I thought Kamara had a great game. I thought Stephen Davis was outstanding once again. And Kamara, well, he was involved in, in fact, he was an assist for two of the Arfield, sorry, yes. Arfield, apologies. Mm-hmm. So I was very, very happy with the midfield. I think they're getting stronger and stronger. And the more games they play together, the more they get to know each other. And it can only look good. For me, from a Rangers perspective, that might be the three that will take us and carry us a bit further than we think. Aribo's still to come in. I don't know where he's going to fit him in. So we'll need to see what happens there. Ryan Jack's going to come back. And I honestly believe Ryan Jack will be thought of. But it might take him a month to get in.
Mm-hmm. It's something you've looked at closely, Gary, in the midfield and how we're structuring it. For me, we're a bit light. I think we could do with a body in there. We've only got Aribo and Jack, and if you take two of them are injured just now, no suspensions, we'll get the two injuries. Three players, all right, we've got young boys and all that, and I don't know if that's what we want this particular season. We maybe need somebody who's ready to really compete for one of these spots, mate.
It's probably one of the areas I've been wondering for a while, like why we've spent a lot of money in the defence and the attacking options and stuff like that, but we've never really spent a lot in the midfield, which is surprising considering we've got a manager who was a very talented midfielder, a first class midfielder, and you would think maybe his inkling would be to bring in a top class midfielder, but I mean, we can't criticise the midfielders that we've got. They've been playing brilliant, their form's great and stuff like that, but I was having a wee look back through our managers and stuff like that.
How far back?
Well, I jumped, the furthest I went, and I didn't want to go any further, was Warburton. Just to see since since
so
King
Warburton
and that
came in 2015, is that right?
Yep. Aye,
oh,
yep.
Right, okay.
So for I was looking at for the 15, 16, and then the 17 seasons. And there was we're coming up for Halloween, so I'll give you a kind of scare with some of the names that we signed. But to be fair to Warburton, a lot of the signings were all frees and loans, and that was the midfielders that we brought in. We had a lot of names that probably folk have forgot about. Like I was saying, Jordan Thompson for Man United was a free. Zalim was a loan for Arsenal. Matt Crooks, a free. Josh Windass was a free. Rossiter was a free. Joey Barton was a free. Crancher was a free. Hyman was a loan.
There's a pattern here, isn't there?
Aye, there was just obviously no money to spend. And again, for some reason, we never really brought in a quality midfielder. Because if you look at it, Warburton brought in Tavernier, and he's been able to stay throughout he's been a mainstay throughout the teams. And that could have been a kickstart for even maybe one of our young boys at that time to hold down a position, but we've never really filled it.
There's blast for the past. Zellerman came into our team, Bridge, and he looked a really nice player for us, but the hustle and bustle of Scottish football, it's few in its day, Bridge, isn't it?
It's found a few of them out, hasn't it, really, and you had to feel for them, because guys you thought they'll walk it, should walk up here with all these marvellous skills and played a lot of games at a higher level. But my God, when they sort of the culture muckers get a hold of them and start booting them and barging and God knows what the crap they have to go through, you can see it happening to them. Even young Scottish boys couldn't wait to get away as well. Young Barry Mackay couldn't get away quick enough. He was just getting hammered every time he got the ball. So that's the kind of thing that's happening to really, really good players. And I think it's quite sad. It's quite sad. I really do.
I mean, Halliday and Holt, who came in with that Warburton team, they were good players in the Championship and took us to the next level. By the way, I've got to wish Andy Halliday all the best. I think he goes with the Rangers support. The best wishes to his new career at Hearts, mate. Wish Andy all the best. I think it's a year's contract he signed, I think, yesterday.
That's right, Ox. Aye. A good move for him, Ox. That'll be a good team for him to play in, by the way.
I see he's starting to do a bit of media work. If he wants any tips, I'll give him Bridges' number.
Bridget.
Man's a shocker, eh? Man's a shocker, Gary.
We'll read that bidding war with Sky and Talk Sport were in for you and they all wanted you, but none of them could afford you, mate. Or was it a real story?
Sounds good, but
didn't let you go.
There is a barrier to all this, yes.
But Zellerman come in and Dominic Ball come in and I remember Dominic Ball in that semi-final at Hampden 2016. He had an excellent game, along with Holt and Halliday in the midfield. But we haven't really spent any money in that department, Gary. Really. Even up to now, I think the only one that really spent any money on it was Cacinia.
That's right, Ox. And when you look through the money, Cacinia actually focused heavily on our midfield. The year when he came in the 17-18 season, he signed Pena for $2.5 million, Dorrans for about $1.5 million. Greg Docherty came in at that time. Brian Jack came in a free. We had Dalcio for Benfica on loan.
What I forgot about him.
Aye. And we had Sean Goss for QPR on loan and all. So, his compared to Warburton only spent his period $2.5 million. Pedro Caixinha spent $9.5 million on our team.
Who was the big centre forward?
Herrera.
Herrera.
Dalcio, he copied you with the old hairstyle, Bridge, didn't he?
Oh, aye. Quite good, aye. But he definitely flattered to see that lad.
Oh, he was red rotten. Come on, let's be honest.
You know who he reminded me? He did a good interview. It was is it Raton or Raton or a French guy came up to Rangers. I'm a warrior, he says. Raton, yeah. And I thought, that's what we want here. We want guys to come in and be warriors. Didn't harm. Obviously, didn't harm. It's quite heartbreaking, but because I'm on the phone to my cousins and saying, this guy's going to be brilliant, he's a warrior. They kicked the ball 3 times and they were all bad.
He was well named, wasn't he?
There's no felt a Scottish tackle, Bridge. They've just no felt. They don't know what that kind of game's like.
I've looked at a stat and I've not checked this out, but I'm going to make a bold statement. Since that 2015 up to now, who do you think's got the best goal to games ratio? In fact, we'll leave that one for the lobby, Gary. Yeah, we'll let the lobby see if they can work that out. You've got to have played 10 games minimum. Is that fair, Bridge?
Yes, absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
10 games minimum. Who do you think's midfielders? The best goals to game ratio.
Only midfielders.
Only midfielders. The brains of the team, Bridge. The football players. The classy
individual. There you go, you loony.
Aye, that's what I was trying to say. It was,
Gary, what position did you play, Gary? If you did play?
Well, when I played at school, I played in defence like you, Bridge. But what I will say is, if you spoke to my brother, he would say I was more an OG'er rather than a defender. So
an OG'er? So you would accept, Gary, that you try and hide all the stookies in defence. Is that the point you're making?
That is the point.
No, he's not making that point at all.
No, Bridge, man, I couldn't read the game. I'll say that at school I was the although they probably didn't use my talent, say my running. I was fast, but they put me in defence, so that's what happened.
You mean he put you as far back as he could, probably?
Keep me out of trouble, supposed to be. But
yeah, Bridge was very fast, but there was usually back mirrors and blue lights involved.
There was always an initiative. There's a bonus if you get away this one. Oh, for God's sake, I need to run.
Right, so we're asking the lobby, since Mark Warburton came in, that's 5 years ago, roughly, just a bit more than that, what midfielder that was signed has the best goals per game ratio, minimum 10 games? You know? See what they think. See what they think. But isn't there a place, Bridgeman, we haven't spent a lot of money on that engine room, have we? Even Stevie G, but you can't spend it everywhere. You've got to slowly build a team, mate.
Yeah, but I think if you look around, you can see that, small acorns, as I say. You brought in one of the best midfielders that's ever played for Rangers in reality, in Stephen Davis. So you brought him back, and admittedly on loan first, but had been injured. So it took him 6 months just to get a kick at the ball, if you follow me. And then they bought him, and look what he's turned into. He's blossomed again, you know. So you might get another 2 years out of Stephen Davis at this level. But as we go forward, we know what's going to happen. The people that come in are hopefully going to be better and better and better. It might take another 3-4 years to get to a level where we think, right, we'll take on MD now, but we'll take them on and not be worried about them. That's what I think, anyway.
I mean, you know my feelings on Stephen Davis, Gary. I think he's a class player. Was a class player. He's a class individual, and he should be Sir Stephen Davis when he gets the British record caps.
I mean, when I'm talking about how I'm saying about the midfield and stuff like that, like, it's not as if we've not brought in any quality. We have brought in the quality. It was just surprising looking back how little we've actually spent to bring in the quality, if you mean. Considering out there now, when you're seeing teams spending 70 million and another team trying to spend 100 million on a player, you're looking at our stuff. I mean, even when I was looking there, I mean, this is probably a question for Bridge, and we'll see if it will shock him, but see, when Steven Gerrard joined us in 18-19 season, how much do you think we honestly spent on the full midfield that season?
Nothing.
50k, and that was only Kamara.
And to me, Kamara one was just a wee deal, because he was coming to Rangers anyway, and it was just a wee shortcut. So 50k, absolutely. I don't think he spent anything, but my goodness, that was a steal, that boy. That was a steal. I've just been talking about it. I thought I really didn't want to make a decision to say that either of the three wing-back set midfielders were poorer than the other, you know. I thought they were just absolutely brilliant. Brilliant.
So at the moment we've got Glenn Kamara, 50,000, Stephen Davis free, Scott Arfield free, Ryan Jacker free, and Big Joe Aribo on a transfer for cross-border. So let's just say between Aribo and Kamara will spend $500,000. We'll call it $500,000. Yeah,
that's something
Obviously,
to look at. Sorry.
Paying good wages, Bridge, but
I know.
ain't big transfer fees, is it?
But you look at those guys we got for nothing, and they're absolute top quality players. They're okay, I'm not saying they're the best in the whole world, but for our league, they're the best. That's the best midfield in our league, I would suggest. Absolutely brilliant. When they're on their game, of course. When they're on their game.
Yes, mate.
When you're looking back in that, obviously just on Steven Gerrard's time, you wonder if it's that he's been searching for more, but he's just not had the time and the money to spend on that area, because, like I was saying there, the 18-19 season, we spent a total on the squad that season was about $10.5 million, and then 19-20. We only brought in Joe Aribo and Andy King, and they were Joe Aribo was a free technically, and then Andy King was a loan. So
I forgot about him. Genuinely did.
I mean,
I thought he was going to be decent for us, but he just never cut the mustard, did he?
Again, coming for a decent team too, it wasn't as if he was coming for a squad that wasn't into winning things and stuff like that. So it was a good opportunity for him. But again, maybe in different times, you never know. But and then if you jump forward to this season, we have spent a total in the midfield is $0. You know what I mean?
Aye, zero. But we're paying decent wages, but we might be one short. For me, one player short. Anyway, Bridge, it's time to open the phone lines. What's the number, brah?
Number's 0141 356 1972.
Or join us at Skype at rangersradio.online. You brought in a call with Fox and Old School Blue. If you phone in, hang up and we will contact you right back. What can you talk about, Gary boy?
All things Rangers.
Name me Gary's tonight. I don't know if I could handle that. Gary.
Gary.
Bridge? Can you smell onions?
Smell onions, aye. Who held you prisoner? Gary. The Gary gang.
All right, the answer to that question, Bridge, was Carlos Pena.
Oh, no way.
Yep. 14 games he played in total, 12 league games, 2 cup ties, 5 goals.
Wow, quite incredible.
Just shows you can make stats mean anything you want, doesn't it?
Oh, don't say that, because Stat will be raging. He likes the truth about the stats.
He'll be fun out with Gary for using some stats, mate.
Gary's brought out some great stats.
So I take it he's our most expensive midfielder that we've spent money on then?
I think according to Wikipedia, and it's only according to Wikipedia, it's not true. It's not always true, because if you look at Bridges' page, some of the women he's been with. Right. But it says we paid $3.2 million for
what a shocker that is, isn't it?
So it says you've heard anything between 2.5 and 3.2 million seems to be the price, and he was the top dollar player brought in under Pedro Caixinha. They all worked well. Back in Diaz was a success for his mate.
Aye.
Would you say he was a midfielder, or would you put him in a front three? Where would you play? Say he played.
Probably your front. If he was probably in the team now, you would probably say it'd be the front three, and that's what I mean. And folk will probably turn and say, "Oh well, we spent on Hadji and we spent on Ken and stuff like that." But I'm just talking about the engine room, say your Arfield, Davis, Kamara, Jack, stuff like that. Basically the position we're looking to fill. We're looking for that box to box that everybody keeps talking about. And this is why obviously Thursday's going to be important, because we need the money. If
you had the money this new, Gary, and you could pick a player to improve your team, is there anybody springs to mind for you?
There's no fun, Ox, to be fair. There's nobody even in our league.
All right, okay.
But I mean, obviously, if you went down south, then I mean, there's a few players that even say MacArthur, maybe at Crystal Palace.
He does a good job. He does a real good job for them, doesn't he?
Aye, I mean,
you know,
but he's not getting
does.
a game. He's sitting doing nothing. I mean, so
no, he's playing, mate. James McCarthy is playing, and the other boy McCarthy. I don't think he
McCarthy and
was
McCarthy are both still playing, and they're playing for Crystal Palace now.
They're both playing. All right, sorry.
James McCarthy plays most games, mate. You know, the great game at Old Trafford. I watched that game. Bridgeman, is anybody springs to mind for you, mate, in the engine room where all the good players play the intelligent ones?
Actually, I don't follow midfielders that much, but when I see good players, I know good players. So you've got your top teams down in England. They've got their star-studded midfields, and you're never going to be able to sign any of them. I think if you went for MacArthur, you might get MacArthur on a smaller price transfer-wise, but you're going to have to pay big wages. I really believe, unless you wait until he's on his maybe last 2 seasons, you might get something out of him then. You know what because I just can't see Rangers being able to go into the big market and look for that. So I think you mostly find it would be down the Championship, League One, or even abroad to bring them in.
Well, Jeff G in the lobby says the wee Chilean midfielders that plays for Leverkusen would be cheaper than MacArthur. So is that a Chilean?
There you go. Chilean minor. A Chilean minor. Oh, brilliant.
Ox, there's an ex-Arsenal captain and an ex-England capped player sitting on a free transfer and all, but a lot of people don't want him because he's injury prone, which is Wilshere.
Oh, Jack Wilshere. That boy, when he burst on the scene 2008, we actually seen him. He played against us one of his first games in the Emirates Cup, mate. He looked as if he was going to be top drawer. It's just his career with injuries, particularly his ankles, blighted. The only way anybody will sign him is a paper play, mate.
Aye. And that's probably we've not done too well in the past with signing guys that are injury prone. They never seem to recover for us. So Prodan kind of springs to mind when I think of that.
Prodan. Yeah, I remember when we signed him, mate. We thought it was going to be improve our team.
We did as well. Same way Kuznetsov. Oleg Kuznetsov. We thought he was going to be great for us as well.
1.5 games, cropped.
Shocking.
He was a class act, Bridge.
Oxter, who do you see? Because you watch a bit more of the English game than I do.
No,
do you see anyone down there? Do you see anyone down there?
It's hard to believe, mate. I've got a full-time job and then I'm on here. I've not got a lot of spare time.
I see. So you're not too bothered about what midfielders are.
Bits and pieces, mate. I
was mean because you're a midfielder and you're going on about them.
Allegedly, mate. Allegedly. But it's a type I think we need. See if we could get a combination of all our midfields with the tenacity of Ryan Jack, with the brain of Stephen Davis, with the touches that Arfield's got, with the ability and the size of Rebo. That would be perfect for me. So if you could get somebody to make that up, how's that sound, Bridge?
Sounds great to me.
If you know any of them, I'm sure you'll get them for about 100,000. All right. People want to join us. Gary, you got the number there, mate?
I have that. It's 0141 356 1972.
Oh, he's getting good at this, Bridge, isn't he?
Aye.
Where else can you join us, Bridge?
They can join us on Skype at rangersradio.online, and Old School Blue and Fox will bring you in and look after you. Enjoy yourself.
All right, I'm going to actually bring Fox in, mate, because this has been a drum that he's been banging for quite a while. Evening, Foxy boy.
Good evening.
How we doing, my mucker?
Thank you very much for bringing me in. I wasn't expecting this, but on you go. What are you going to ask me?
No, but this has been something you've been on about for, I don't know, for about 18 months now. You've said that you can't solve all your problems in a one hit. We're not saying the midfield's a problem. We're just saying we're a bit light, yeah?
I think we've done well in the market, not splashing out in transfer fees for decent players like Scott Arfield and Ryan Jack, etc., mate. And it's allowed us to spend actual cash and transfer fees in other parts of the the team. And people were going on earlier or later in the last season about we need to replace Taverner. But Taverner's been a solid rock there, mate. And I know I always go on about him. What surprised me, I was listening to you last night and you were talking about the young boy Nathan Patterson. He's no ready. What's the youth academy there for? If we get him into the first team pool, the management team have got confidence in him, and we as a support have doubts about whether he's going to be good enough or not. This is the way we've got to go. We've got to bring in through our youth academy, pick up decent things in the loan market, pick up free transfers, cross-border signings, just so that we can afford to spend on quality players in different parts of the team. And I think we're doing that gradually.
Take your point about the boy Patterson and Tav, mate, they're two different questions. Whether you think he's ready and whether you think he's good enough, I think the boy's got a chance to go to the top of the game, mate. But you've got to get that journey right.
Aye, but I mean, if the management team have brought him into the first team squad, he's had outings in the team. He looks confident enough for me. The management team are confident enough in the boy. So why should we go out and spend money on a right back? The boy's
so
going to be
given.
given.
That means you can spend money elsewhere.
Yes, it does. I mean, spending money in the other parts of the team allowed us to bring in Etton and Ruth to add some quality up front to give Alfredo a bit of pressure taken off of him, and goals are beginning to flow for all over the side. And that's by adding quality. You know, and quality means a lot in football now. And I hope our next signing, who may be a midfielder, is somebody we'll pay a couple of quid for, but it'd be a step up maybe in one of our midfield players.
Could you see somebody getting brought in as a loan, or do you think that ship sailed for us?
No. I mean, we've had loans in the past that haven't worked out, but we've been at the bottom scale of the loan market. I think we're trying to gradually get the confidence of other teams sending their very good youngsters to us. And I was hoping this season we might see one of better quality than we've had in the last couple of seasons. The Tims have managed to do it by bringing in players like Elanusi and things like that. But you've got to have gain the trust of other clubs that you'll look after their players and they'll get game time. So that's the problem we're left with.
Gary, do you think it'll be a signing, or do you think Thursday could have an impact on what we do in the transfer market?
I think it'll be odd into Thursday. To be honest, Docs, like I think if we get through on Thursday, I think you'll see hopefully two come in. If we don't, then I think you'll either see a loan come in or a cheap midfielder come in. And I'm not meaning he's cheap in quality. I mean he's maybe I want to be the millions spent on him. So I think they'll probably have a few lined up. As I think the managers always said, that they've always got their eye on certain people. I think it just depends on finances a lot of the time. And I think what it says, if we get through on Thursday, then it opens a door to a higher quality, I think. Especially knowing that I think, is it the following season that, or if we get through between us and Galatasaray, that kind of gives an automatic place for the Champions League. Is that what it is?
I think that's 2022, mate.
Aye.
I think. Yeah, I might be wrong, but that does, because we would go above Turkey. Scotland would go above Turkey potentially.
So I mean, the riches of that as well, like waiting for that season is. I mean, I've no doubt that we should be there getting that automatic place, but again, that it just gives confidence to shareholders and stuff like that as well to put money in.
It sounds like are we the only team that's actually putting something into this coefficient?
Seems like it, Bridge.
You were talking about midfielders that maybe have caught your eye. I thought the William Twee, as it was called, the young boy Trezor, looked a very good player. I don't know if any of you noticed him in the game. I thought he was an exciting looking young midfielder.
I thought the other players looked comfortable. And if you like, I don't mean this to be a stereotype, but they all looked typical Dutch players. Fox, comfortable with the ball, moved it well, and sometimes looked good going forward. Yeah.
Okay, he caught my eye in the game. I know we won 4-0 comfortably, but when they did go in the attack, he kind of caught my eye with his movement and quality of pass.
That's maybe where if we somebody you can get a gem for something like that if you're there at the right time, you know.
Right.
You know, I read something today, Bridgeman, a wee stat about Ross Wilson, and it's whether Gary's talking about transfer values and value and what we've spent, about the value of our squad at last year's AGM. And I think the figures they used was 50 million to put on the balance sheet because of what's happening as our squad develops. I think we're well past that now.
I would think so, yeah, I would think so. Like these guys are looking at different figures, of course. Their valuation is slightly different from other people's. But no, that sounds about right, you know. And really and truly, have we not got a squad worth 50 million at the moment in the transfer market? I think so. But that's quite incredible.
Easy for me, well past that, Gary. Yeah?
Oh yes, I think so too. So the proof of the pudding, proof's in the pudding, isn't it?
Your name's Bridgeman.
Oh, sorry,
Gary.
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 No, you're right, Ox. Like considering that we are probably on average with Steven Gerrard spending $10.5 million each season, to have a team worth 50 million and over is brilliant business. You know what I mean? So like long may it continue, and like I says, maybe if we do get through on Thursday, that this might be probably our biggest spending season in a sense, because we'll probably surpass the last two seasons and what we've spent on players.
Here's for the threes. Be honest now. Don't try and take the blue tinted off. Yeah, and I'll start with you, Gary. Then Bridge, and then. I'll take this call first. We got a call coming in. It's the big global ambassador. Evening, Big Al.
Good morning, gentlemen. How are you?
All right, good man. How are you doing?
Aye, I'm brand new. Look, this might come across as a wee bit controversial, but you described a player. You were asking for a player that had developed kind of our four mainstays of midfielders that we have. We are Aribo, Davis. I think we've got midfielders at the moment that seem to handle. So if we have a wee bit of a run in the Europe, I think we could safely say we've got midfielders there that qualify to keep us well placed in the European League. Would you agree with that? Do you think our midfield's solid enough for that?
100%.
They come in the forward when there's a bit of space, yes.
Yeah, right. So we seem to be sorted in that area. So we're looking for a midfielder that we want somebody for these league games to try and help us over the line, and somebody that would maybe complement what we've got there. Is that fair enough? Does that sound right?
I get where you're coming from, Al, but I just think that 5 players for the 3 positions, you're going to get suspensions, you're going to get injuries.
I'm just trying to build you up to it.
All right, okay, sorry, I'll act along with you. You should have told me you wanted me to act.
No, you're all right.
Right, okay, so I agree with you, Al. Carry on.
Right. Well, what about Stephen Naismith? The baggage that he's had before, but to put him in the team in certain games, I think could. And he's certainly got what you said about Jack. He's up and in people's faces. He can play a wee bit. I know sign him on a year's contract. It's just a name. You were asking for players in Scotland. I think he's about the best. When you described that was the player. I just got a wee vision of him, like
Stephen Naismith at his peak, mate. When he was that seasons he had for us, tenacity, scored goals, worked hard, won the ball, could play. He had a lot going on in his game, but I can't see that happening now, mate. I think that ship sailed, but I get your point. Gary and Fitch.
No, the type of player that Naismith is would be great for our midfield. Hungry and like you says, shout moaning at referees and stuff like that. Like I wouldn't say no to him, but if it was if there was somebody else there that had all that quality, then by all means I would bring him in.
Well, I'm just thinking, but money-wise as well. He seems to tick a lot of their boxes. It'll never happen. I don't think it'll happen. But just when you mentioned that when you encompassed all the players together, that was the guy I thought he might do as a job to the end of the season, because it's critical that we kind of need to strengthen in there and to try and get that type of player. Well, here's another name. Just blow the budget and go for Kante. You know what I mean?
Oh, love it.
Can I just come in on the Naismith thing? Naismith was a star with Rangers. Absolutely, very good player with Kelly. Brilliant player he became, and he became a real big personality. And his whole life could have been mapped out. And then the thing happened, and he did what he did, and I'm afraid his star started to slip. But he put himself back into the market down in England, and he did well for himself. But then he's come back up here, and I don't care what MD says. I would never, personally speaking, I would never go for him to play for Rangers. But at the same time, as I always say, if he puts on the blue jersey, that might be different. If he comes out there, and I'm not going to boo him, yeah. But I know one thing: I would never want him to be there. Never ever. I think he's far too old now for us anyway. But what a great player! You're right, absolutely brilliant player.
I think your point is that Naismith at his pomp would have been ideal, Ali.
Oh, definitely, his pomp. But I still think he could do his job. It's just that wee thing that we need in the middle of the park. I mean, not the last two games, but prior to that, at the beginning of the season, we kind of got pushed about a wee bit. Like Gary says, you need somebody there that's going to get in the rest face. No really vociferous, but just letting them know, letting other players know. And I think when other players, opposition teams, play against him, they kind of know, like if they kick him, they'll get kicked back. And I think that's important for other teams to know that. Just Sonny might just set the cat amongst the pigeons, you know what I mean? For us, it'd be a cheap option, and I think he would come back and blah blah, all the usual. I don't think it's going to happen. It's just a conversation piece. And can I ask you just one other question?
Yeah,
what level of football did you play at Ox?
Oh, just amateur football, mate.
Amateur. And Bridge yourself, mate?
I played non-league down in England, but I was over in South Africa. Played for PE City and that.
Oh, beautiful, mate. Beautiful. And Gary, you were just school football. Was I right in hearing that earlier?
Aye, school football and getting kicked about the place.
I'm going to laugh at you. No, that's good.
And what about you, Big Al? What about you, Big Al? You looked as if you had a lot of skill in the twinkly toes of yours.
Oh, aye, you're the dance flair. I was up there for thinking, down there for dancing, man. Nah, I was there. I was there for football player.
Yeah, Wembley Wizard, Big Al.
No. I played football and that, but I wasn't nothing. Just done it for a laugh, and then the women come along, and then I gave it up about 12. You know what I mean?
Oh dear.
Right, gentlemen, I have to go. I have to keep the wheels industry going. Commerce is crying out for me.
Right, you take it easy, mate.
Aye, I will do, guys. You just keep up the good work. Excellent show, man. Excellent show.
Cheers, big man.
Cheers.
Thank you.
This story about this boy Zunga just doesn't seem to be going away in the midfield, does it? It just keeps popping up.
Is it popped up again, Knox? Aye.
I'm just saying, just doesn't seem to be going away. I mean, obviously, rumours are rumours, you know. You know, the rumour we heard one night Bridge was going to buy a round. It's never true, you know what I
mean? The guy's got all the qualities, Ox, that we're looking for. And like you're saying, it's just the final wee piece of the jigsaw. Don't get me wrong, I'm over the moon that Arfield's got his form back, because, I mean, he's got it. And I think the tail end, well, the turn of the year for his last, this year, he just seemed to lose all that. At one point before his injury, he was on fire. He was scoring goals all the time and stuff like that. And he was one of the guys you could say he was always going to get his shirt every week. And he just kind of lost his way a wee bit. But it's great to see him back to that form. And maybe that kind of wee stunt out the team, knowing that he's got to work hard to get back into it, it's probably done him the world of good.
Bridgeman, he certainly had an excellent game on Sunday. Scotty Arfield. Gary, Scott Arfield certainly had a good game on Sunday, mate.
Aye.
I mean, when you play in there, you're going to have good games, bad games. It's going to go for you. Sometimes the passes will work, sometimes they'll no, and it's fine margins. You need the bounce of the ball, you need your mates to help you out. But Scott Arfield's one of the leaders in your team, mate.
Aye, and that's like I would like, maybe like when Aribo's back, he'll get Aribo and Scotty Arfield will hopefully maybe be able to play in the same team together. You know what I mean? By the way, it could be Jack that's on a shaky nail with his position. The boys are playing.
It's going to be tough for the manager to select, isn't it? Because why would MD want to drop Arfield? He's hit a real seam of form. That's fantastic stuff. So that has to be played out till he sort of drops a wee bit. If he does, I don't think the manager's just going to drop people. That midfield's doing very, very well at the moment.
Tournament guys in top form. We'll be enjoying the evening Dale or afternoon Dale.
Yeah, how's it going, guys?
How's it going with you, Dale?
Hi, Dale.
I'm good. No, it's to let you know that I changed my name to Gary just to make things easier for you.
Gary!
Yeah.
All right.
Gary!
I know, bother, guys. I was listening to what you're talking about and getting back to the midfielders. I think we need somebody like an Ian Ferguson. I know we're not going to get that. Either a Ferguson or else obviously an Alberts or something like that.
You don't get him.
No, I know. That's what the problem is. I think, and then I've watched a bit of that Daniel Johnson. Him for Preston, North End. I've watched a bit of him on YouTube, but you can't really tell that much. It's a different quality of play. And then the other one that was still on the radar, according to the papers, is Zungu. But I've not seen much of these.
No, you don't know till you sign them, but that one's not going away. That Zungu, it's been cropping up since the summer.
I asked to come up in one of the pods that he was seen in a restaurant in the West End of Glasgow with, what do you call it, boy, Ross
Wilson.
Ross Wilson.
And true, mate. If that happened,
no, it definitely wasn't true.
If that happened in the West End of Glasgow, me and Bridge would know about it.
Because as far as I was concerned, then he must have been at one of the all you can eat, buffets or something like that, because he was certainly overweight or something like that, But no, I've heard all kinds of things, but I think it's all dependent on what's happening on Thursday. I think that the Rangers, as much as we want to keep, Morelos and all the rest of it, I don't really think they can, have a big outlay on somebody for the midfield. I know they'd like to, but there's nothing materialised on that front so far anyway, and we definitely don't want to lose Kent, no matter how much money that is. That's my opinion.
All our players are for sale, aren't they? Everybody's got a price.
Well, that's what it is. And
selling money you carry not back for the good of the club, but you might bring in two players and you might make your team better, but that's the nature of the game. And I've got a simple view. If somebody comes in for any of the players and they want to go, let them go, mate, if the price is right.
Absolutely.
I want players that want to play for their team, mate.
Certainly Morelos, yeah. If that money does come in for him. And I think the Rangers should take, the best offer that they can get for him.
I think Alfie will still be here next month in this time.
I think he still will be as well. But, that would give us that wiggle room, to search for players, Certainly not, if not now, then certainly in the January window,
Which will be calling us quite quickly, won't it?
Oh, aye. It's unbelievable how time's flying. But is the Mora the first? Is this a leap year? I don't know.
No, the Mora's the 30th, mate.
Oh, the 30th. There you go. Aye. All right. Well, I'm not going to fall in love then, or get married or anything like that then. The Mora.
You don't need
I'll need the day after.
No,
he's all right. He's safe. Don't worry about it. He's fine.
The problem you've got, you might say aye.
Well, I'm not paying his flights. He can pay his own.
He can eat buffet.
There you go. Aye, that's about the size of it, probably.
Gary, it's a hard jigsaw. And, we're talking about players for the past. These guys were genuine legends for our team, and obviously Albertz was signed for Hamburg for about 4 million. Fergie brought in big money at the time, $1 million, 10 league championship medals. Just phenomenal guys. Obviously, you can unearth them, but it ain't that easy, is it, to get gems like that?
No, Ox, no, the way the games went with transfer money and stuff like that. Like, before we could, I was looking back, and I mean, we lost Van Bronckhorst to Arsenal, and then we went out and signed Dominic, what was his name? We went out and signed, what's the other boy, Ball? We signed
Michael Ball.
We signed Michael Ball.
Oh, he was some singer, by the way, some chanter.
we signed him for 9 million.
No, 6 million, 6.
I suppose that's Wikipedia maybe tell me wrong. But that, even at that, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's the kind of money that we were just flinging back. And, if you know what I mean, like, now we can't just do that. We've got to be careful with it.
A few years ago, Michael Ball was on the show, mate.
Was it?
Aye, we done an interview with Michael Ball, me and Fox. What a guy he was, tremendous guy.
He always seemed to like the club.
He could only do it at a certain time, so we recorded it. And I'll let Mr. Fox tell the rest of the story. Mr. Fox.
Be quiet. Don't be talking about that now.
All right, I'll not be talking about it. Let's just say he forgot to press play and record.
So it never happened.
The famous old. Oh, wow.
Comedy gold. Comedy gold.
Foxy boy. Foxy.
And to his credit, the man came on the next night and done it all again. Didn't he, Fox?
You did indeed. Bailed me out big time.
There you go.
That's brilliant. What a great story that is. Oh, poor old Fox.
But the best laugh for it was, Bruce, you know how well me and Fox go, and we're always nice, kind words for each other.
Uh-huh.
You can imagine at the end when he's told me it's no work, it's no recording. And I'm calling him all the names. Michael Ball's howling. He's howling, but anyway. That was he was great for us. A real nice guy. We've been really lucky with the players we've had on. He was fantastic as well. Internationalist, got 1 England cap, mate. Then we couldn't play him because if we played them, we had to give Everton more money. And we wouldn't play him. It was a liberty. What happened to the boy, Robbie?
Yeah. I always wondered at the time. I didn't know that because I always thought it was. Well, I think at the time they said it was an injury. But obviously that's what it's been. Because he was great. He was a decent player. Wasn't he?
Hard player. Could play. Go and dig out the interview, Gary, in the archives.
Aye, definitely.
You'll find that he was really good. I can't remember what it was, a couple of years ago now, but he was really good on the show.
Some really bad injuries, but didn't he get some really bad injuries?
It's the same story.
Quality player.
It's the same story with a lot of them. Like they don't know the ins and outs of the club, and then when they do join us, it never leaves them. It stays with them for. Even I seen Arvelazzi. He's a manager now, and he still talks about Rangers and stuff like that. Talks about how the stuff he learned and all the different like McLeish and stuff like that. How he managed and stuff like that, and he's took that on to his career and stuff. So it just shows you that these players, it never leaves them, and that's what always annoyed me. Like say with De Boer and that, when they came, they loved it, and you're just like, wish you would have wanted to come. If we turned up to their door 3 seasons before that, they would tell us to go and chase ourselves. But then when they do come to us, they wish that they came sooner. So it's a catch-22.
Frank was the ways that long, but Ronald done well for us, didn't he?
Couple of seasons, didn't he?
Aye,
magic,
well
just magic.
Right.
But you know what? Once the players are at Ibrox and the fan adoration, they realise the fan adoration. There may have been plenty of fans liked them wherever they've played before, but there's something special about the Rangers, the way the Rangers and the fans sort of combine. It's just amazing. So that I think what you were saying there about when they're there, they don't actually want to leave unless it's a lot of money. A lot of money.
Frank Bronckhorst, I think we doubled our money on him. He was successful. Moved on, but a good player for us.
Great player.
Fabulous player, yeah.
Probably one that went too soon.
Get yourself a mute. John Dale on mute. And we're going to have a tune for your Fox. Right, we better give Bridge 10 minutes to get his breath back after that one, Gary.
He's got his marching shoes on.
Oh, mate, he'll have done a few laps.
Brilliant. That brings back memories of Wishy Main Street.
You back, Bridge? Oh, I'm worried.
Sorry, I switched it off again. Sorry. Yes, I'm well back, man. Out of breath, whistling and marching. Can't believe it.
Was that a piccolo with the flutes? Is that a piccolo with your tail? You might know about that. I know you were a drummer, mate.
I was a drummer, but I never played in the horns bands. But I think that was, the higher notes was definitely a piccolo. You couldn't get that with a flute.
Okay.
Because there was a few of the bagpipers, Rangers supporters used to transfer it onto the chanter.
Mm-hmm.
Now you remember about that, right? But as I say, it's all different notes and all the rest of it.
Right, okay, mate. Right, where were we? I've got to give you a wee shout out to we signed 3 academy boys today. Gave them contracts, a first professional contract. Adam Devine, Aaron Lyle, and Cole McKinnon. I've not really heard any of the boys, but if they're good enough for Kevin Thompson, they might be good enough for me, Bridgman.
I think so, yeah. I think so. If Kevin Thompson gives you his honest thoughts on players and how good and bad they are, where they play and so on and so forth, we should always listen, shouldn't we? He's a quality sort of pundit. He was a fantastic player. Good career with Rangers. Well played for him. But yes, if he says something, we should listen.
Congratulations to the boys, Gary.
It's brilliant, and even more so that it's Thompson. That's probably gave the green light as well. I mean, you can hear him on Rangers TV talking, even about the current squad. He's talking about Kent still got more levels to go up, and the guy must have a great. Well, he obviously has got a great knowledge of the game, especially. By the way, kind of midfielder that we're actually looking for, that we're talking about. If we could have a Kevin,
there you go.
If we could have a Kevin Thompson in there, then off, I think we'd be all right.
Another one of my mates, Bridger.
Hi.
Deal. Kevin Thompson was a bad player, was he?
He's a great player.
As well, I mean.
Oh, wonderful.
And do you know what the great thing is? Apart from that, he runs his own academy seemingly as well, and he goes into Rangers. He coaches the kids, so I wouldn't be, surprised if it's, he just passed them on. You know what I'm saying? These guys are better than what I can do. Go to Rangers, and to me, his word is, it's solid. It's got to be. I mean, I love having him, on the punditry. Just because of his knowledge and just because of his experience, and he talks back, about what he's actually done in the game, especially with Rangers. And these guys they're just dyed in the bull, Glasgow Rangers. That's it. It's great to have him on there.
A very honest pundit, Kevin Thompson, Gary.
He has that, and you can see, like when you see him next to the manager, when the two of them were talking together, the two of them could sit and talk about football a day. You could just tell it's in their blood. It's brilliant. He explains the game really well. Aye, very much so.
Right, Gary, if people want to join us, what's the number?
It's 0141 356 1972.
Where else can you join us, Bridge?
You can join us on Skype at rangersradio.online, and Old School Blue and Fox will bring you in, look after you, make sure you enjoy yourself. It's good stuff.
Phone up, hang up, and we will contact you right back. I was trying to keep this under my hat to tomorrow night, but everybody's gone nuts about it. Have you seen the lineup for the the TV on Thursday night. Have you seen it, Gary?
No, I've not. What's this?
I haven't seen it either.
This is the panel. The who's like you, Bridge. You know what it's missing. Emma Dodds. We like Emma.
No, that'd be enough for me.
You like him. We like Neil, don't we? Right,
Certainly.
Next three. Alan McCoy, Graham Souness, Walter Smith.
Oh, marvellous. That's marvellous. That sounds good, sounds good, yeah.
That'll be some dinner.
That'll be some night out.
I see that a story broke today. I saw it in Follow, and that mob across the city have given their season ticket holders access, video access to the game, their game. Who is it they're playing again? It doesn't matter who they're playing. Sarajevo. So apparently they're getting that free because is it Premier Sports? Apparently, Premier Sports have decided not to put it on telly. So.
All right. Well, Rangers have announced it's $9.99 for season ticket holders and $14.99 for non-season ticket holders.
That's a good price.
Well, that's what I'm is $9.99, and that's just buying it through Rangers TV abroad.
Aye, that'll be the deal. But obviously, we can't usually purchase Rangers.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's a shame.
Have you seen a big difference in the coverage, Dale? Are you more professional?
Oh, it's brilliant. I mean, I remember watching it back in the day, when they first really kind of started out, and they had boys like Derek Ferguson and all that were on it. You had Big Slim, who was obviously on your show the other week there. And they just used to get random people in, but they did run it for a studio, and it wasn't bad, don't get me wrong, but Rangers didn't have the money to get the top names in. Know that it's going to cost them a lot of money now, I would imagine. The difference in the coverage is just night and day. It's amazing. What they've got is so much better than any other station you could ever watch. And then you're getting McCoy there. McCoy, Souness and Walter Smith. I mean, what bigger legends do you get there? And then plus Emma as well. She's always really nice to look at.
And then you've got Clyde Tilsley doing the commentator.
Is he doing it? Is he back on again? Is he?
Aye.
Right. Because there was a bit of... Because he seemed like he was getting too much into the Rangers history. This is from all the critics, obviously, right? And they were saying, you might not see him back on for a while. And I think it's brilliant. It just makes it sound so professional. And, I'd watch it for the pre-match, the half-time, and the after-match interviews, and just hope Rangers win, It's that good.
We'll be joined by Blue Star. Evening, Blue Star.
Evening, Ox. Evening, Gary. Evening, Bridge. And the rest of the gang.
Blue Star. Everything okay with you, pal?
Everything's okay. Not bad yet.
Good. Well done.
Listening to you, when you mentioned the lineup there, Ox, for Thursday.
Aye.
That you'll get a laugh with that lot, that's for sure, because McCoy still keeps Souness going.
You might turn around, they might pan in and Souness might have valid been a throw it.
To be fair with the guy, it seems like Souness, see when you watch him on Sky and that, more often than not, he conducts himself very well, but he's what you actually listen to him when he's a bit like we were talking about there about Kevin Thompson talking about connoisseurs of the game. Souness is he's a very, very good analyst. It's mega surprising to me that the mass majority of ex-Rangers men, give or take a few certainly, they're more than capable analysts when they're talking about the game compared to that other mob. Have you ever noticed that? I mean, there's a classic last night when you seen the bit with Klopp. It's been getting played all day, and Roy Keane mentions about the word sloppy, and Klopp's getting interviewed live at the time for the Grun. Oh, and he goes to absolute town on him, and you see Keane squirming in the studio. It's quite a good if you've seen it. But no, most of the ex-Rangers, the 90% of them are all very, very good when they're talking about the game.
I think the RTV, I mean, obviously, we'd all rather be at the game, mate, but they're trying to make it as good as they possibly can for us, you know. All right, we're paying money for it, and we're paying for season tickets, and etc. But they're trying, and I think the support, they appreciate that, Blue Star.
Absolutely, Ox. And what Gary said there about that other mob, being there's free, the reason for that is because they had a massive kick up there. Was it when they were playing St Johnstone? They had already asked their season ticket holders to pay for the game up there because St Johnstone wouldn't allow their cameras in unless they were getting a bigger cut. So that's the reason they've done that on Thursday. Immaterially, that's right enough, but it's one of these things. Let's be honest. If you want to watch the game, you're going to pay. It's one of these things. It's an unforeseen challenge. Obviously, most Bears would love to be at the game, and it can't happen until this thing's over with. So that's the way it is. But no, when it comes to RTV, there's been a massive change in it. It's far, far better. But then again, Ox, as you said, as you've been talking about on the programme, since Stevie G came in, he's revamped the whole stadium, the show, everything else is all up to what we classify as good standard now.
Well, things are definitely moving, mate. We just need. I think it's Cairo. We just need to smash this glass ceiling, and he's right. Once we get through that glass ceiling, we take off, Gary.
Aye, I think as soon as the mere better times without COVID, I think the League Cup would have been a great trophy for us to push for this year and get that in the bag, and then continue on with the league and obviously the Scottish Cup. But the way that's gone now, like I don't even know the dates for that have not been put out yet. I don't think, have they? No. So again, we might have to wait, but like you said, as soon as if we go on a run again and we get to this next Old Firm game, if we can just burst through there, win that game, that's the ceiling can be touched at least, and hopefully that just gives the team that confidence that they know that they are number one and they are going to win this league. That I think sometimes just obviously we're unlucky against Hibs and stuff like that. But there's just times where the nervousness kicks in a wee bit with the team, and yet we go out and do what we've done against Motherwell, and it's the confidence is all the other team. So you just shake your head because you want it so much for them. They deserve it. They are a team like any other season. You would always back them. It's just such a there's so much pressure on them this year, and I just hope they can hold it together for it.
Aye, well, I hope so, mate. I hope so. Different types of pressure. This is a one-half game. This is a cup final on Thursday night, but isn't it? Dale?
All right. Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I think... But to me, it's like any other game for Rangers right now as well, you know, because, you know, we're top of the league, you know, they've got a game in hand. And as I say, this one is the money spinner. But I think it's an awful lot more interesting just over the one leg. And we are lucky, you know, to be drawn at home. And I'm telling you, man, I think Rangers have definitely got the quality. There's no doubt about that. It's just a pity about the fans, obviously. But they'll get through this game. I can see Rangers getting through this. No bother.
Well, you're right.
So they are. I'm not got loud back on.
It's a real 50-50 tie, Blue Star.
It is, Ox, and again, I don't know about the rest of you. I know JFK says he watched a lot of their last game. I've seen snippets. Again, you don't know how much you're relying on their old name. You can only go in present form. On present form, I've said it 100 times. Under Gerrard, for whatever reason, I genuinely think it's because teams do open up against us. But in Europe, more often than not, even the games we've lost, we've only lost that one, and they were an exceptional team. Let's be honest. But if we play our standards at all, honestly, I agree with the guys. I can't see us losing that game. I hope I'm right, but I genuinely can't. I think we're playing expansive football. I think when teams open up against us and we get that, our players get that wee bit of space. The only time I see us struggling that wee bit is when we're up against a team that are really digging in against us. And even then, they last two that we drew both of them. Both games we should have won. That's the bottom line. As Cairo says, there's a wee bit of negative in you when you think we've them tapped, but they've still got a game in hand. That shouldn't even be in the blinking pipeline. We should be in front on proper points. It's us that slipped up. And if anything, they've got to get that out the system. We've had 2 years of that. Now's the time to do it. We've got the players to do it, hands down, absolutely hands down. It's just getting on that park and doing it. But come to Thursday, I've got a good feeling about it. I generally think we'll beat them. I do.
Well, right. I hope you're right, mate. I'm looking forward to it. It's a real similar to the Polish game last year where we got a nothing each draw away from home and come back and we beat them at home. Alfredo scored the last minute. Fabulous night, fabulous result. I see it very much like that, Ty Bridgeman.
Yeah, absolutely. I take on board what Blue Star was saying. Excuse me, saying as well. I think it's going to be a very tight match. I really do. I'm going for a usual Bridgeman. I'll go for a 1-0. But I think the way we're playing, the form we've got, and the way our midfield / defence is playing together, particularly against Motherwell there, it was absolutely brilliant. In the game before and against Willem II, it was just, or Willem II, should I say, just great to watch. So we just need to keep that form, go to the match, and get to Ibrox and just mollocate them. But it's going to be a lot tougher than that.
Mollocate them. So people want to give their thoughts and anything Rangers related. What's the number, Gary?
It's 0141 356 1972.
Joyce at Skype at rangersradio.online. We were on the call, but we're only Foxhall School Blue. If you use the phone in, hang up, we'll contact you back. Just for the people who still caught you before, where are you phoning in for, Dale?
Los Angeles.
But the East Coast of Australia. And then we've got me and you, Blue Star.
Aye, better believe it. If only.
It's amazing. It's amazing the internet, how it gets through, I think it's just the different time scales as well, I mean, I do appreciate you guys putting us on late at night. You're working the next morning, some are, some aren't. But I always enjoy the show. And I think that's what I like about it the best is because it's comfortable for me to be on it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm working tomorrow. That's great. But, I'll get plenty of time to listen to the show or talk through the show. Whereas you guys will be looking to be going to your bed, after you're done, So I definitely appreciate it. And that's one thing about the time difference. Oh, by the way, for the Motherwell game there, I slept in. I woke up I was supposed to be up at 3:30, and I woke up at 5:15, and then I grabbed my phone and I looked up the score, and it was 3-0, and I went, you know what, it's going to be 5-0 Rangers. And then I get up.
It's close, wasn't it?
It was close. If it wasn't for George Edmondson's eye socket, it would have been right there, but it wasn't his fault. But, that's what I'm saying. I got up and I watched the game, and listen to all the analysis and all that during the day. That's one advantage I've got, for living in Los Angeles, because of the time difference.
I suppose, one of the disadvantages is that your weather's crap compared to what we're used to.
The problem is at the moment it's about 87 degrees Fahrenheit outside now.
That's too cold.
I know, that's what I was thinking. So I'm sitting in the house all wrapped up,
With the heating on.
Aye, the heating on. That's been on since 6 o'clock this morning, But
if you've any problems with your heating, we'll get the rain gas engineer will send over to sort it.
Oh, for goodness sake, you guys are doing everything you possibly can to send the boys over, man. Oxy, are you going to become an electrician or something like that in case somebody's rang me a light bulb?
No, the first time I've blown my case as an electrician, mate.
Well, tough, I'm an electrician, so I'll fix it myself. And I've not heard for that Denver Bear at all. He must have been into hibernation.
I did that. I spoke to him, mate. He sent me a message. I'll speak to you later. No.
Does he want to know you, Gary? Does he want to know you?
Oh, I'm a Gary now.
Dale, no, you're sorry. Dale, me Gary. Because you wanted to be joined as a Gary, didn't you? I want to be called Gary.
Aye. I just said it.
Everybody's Gary on this show. Gary.
Okay, no, but that's the way it's supposed to be. Good fun.
Right, come and join us. 0141 356 1972 or join us at Skype at rangersradio.online. Phone up. Hang up, we'll contact you right back. You can talk about anything Rangers related. This is a big game for the club coming up on Thursday night, Blue Star, mate. It's important. Prestige, revenue, momentum, a lot of things, yeah?
Massive. Again, you had the nail on the head, Ox. The revenue, let's be honest, we don't know what's happening behind the scenes, but our club needs money. Every club needs money, and with this pandemic, even more so. The fans can't get in, and the trading's went down a wee bit. So, yeah, it's massive. And as you say as well, the momentum, we've not lost a game yet. We want to keep that going. As Bridgeman always says, keep it going for the Rangers. Well, it's true. It's not just the fans, the players themselves. I think they're beginning to believe in themselves now. You see the difference in Kent. You've seen the difference in wee Alfie. The defence even looks far, far better. So I think things are beginning to really, really move. And they've got to keep it going. Got to keep it going. And I genuinely do think they'll beat that mob on Thursday, I do.
All right. Gary?
We couldn't have probably be playing them at a better time because overall, the start of the season that we've had, the form's been consistent. We've no lost. So I think Galatasaray will be cautious of us. And the team should take confidence in the scalps we've already took. I mean, we've played Porto and Feyenoord and all. I mean, pedigree teams there, so there's no reason why they can't go out and give Galatasaray a game. And like I think was it Dale was saying that they might not be Galatasaray old. I mean, so
interesting to see it pans out. Bridge.
Yeah, I think as I said, Galatasaray, what a name, big name in football. Like ourselves, a huge name. Like ourselves, are a big name in the European area, and we're catching them, and hopefully we're catching them at the right time. They're not up to strength, and I hope so because I'd love us to go through. It would be just fabulous to beat that team, Ibrox. Just fabulous. Imagine us making that into three. What do you call it? Group stages. In the Europa League, 3 in a row. Amazing stuff. Amazing.
As long as we don't let Souness walk on the part with one of these flags off.
The flags. I was going to say that.
We've been joined by caller. Good evening, caller.
Evening. Good evening, Ox. How you doing? Southside there.
Southside, how you doing?
No bad. Bridge yourself. How's it going, Troops?
Fantastic.
All right, Southside.
Mate, what's on your mind, mate? We always enjoy when you come on, mate.
No, I was just listening to you for the last 10 minutes now. I'm looking forward to Thursday night. I think after Sunday, had a good battle for them. The week before in Europe we've played well, so I think we're getting my confidence. And I think if we pick the right team, I'm expecting us to win on Thursday night. It'll be a hard game, but I expect to win, to be honest. I think we can.
What is that right team, Southside?
McGregor, Tav, Barisic, Helander and Goldstein. I think it'll be Davis, Kamara and Arfield, Alfie, Kent, and it's a toss-up between Jones and Hadji.
Right, okay. We're assuming that they were injured players are coming back too soon for them.
If Jack was fit, Jack will play. I think if Jack's fit, he'll play. And I think it'll be Spencer Davis.
All right, that's a big call, Southside.
Mm-hmm. I just think he's played a lot of games, and I think he might just maybe take Davis out if Jack's fit.
That's a big call, that, you know. It's a huge call.
Mm-hmm. He does big calls in European games, doesn't he? He usually finds a player, and sometimes we don't.
The form he's in, and he's showing leadership qualities and everything in the middle of the park. And I don't think it'll happen, but you have to go with it.
Ox, would you drop Jones to play Hadji?
You asking me personally?
Aye.
Hey, the Waynes in the street could tell you what he's going to say.
Can I take the Fifth Amendment on that one and pass that to Southside there?
Well, the reason I'm saying that, Ox, there's no doubt about it. Jones opened my eyes there on Sunday because you know my feelings on Jones. I didn't think he was that great a player when we got him. To be fair to the guy, he's not had many games, but I've got to be honest, I thought he had a blinder because what I did notice was both him and Kent, the work rate they put in, they were also playing back all the time and covering Tav or whoever else went up the park. The boy, the big coloured guy, Bassey, whenever he went up, I noticed that Jones was falling back behind him, the same as what Kent was doing with Tav, etc. So they certainly had the boy worked hard enough, but I've got in the back of my head because it's Galatasaray that he might just go for Hadji. I don't know. I think it's 50-50. Does he drop Jones knowing that the boy played well? You can't tell, can you?
The Hadji connection. I've answered your question, Southside. I've deflected it.
No. I think if Jones hadn't had so good a game on Sunday, Hadji would have played on Thursday. Yeah. Jones did play well and possibly deserves to keep his place, but Hadji, I think, he'll pick up fouls. He's got a bit more intelligence, but Jones has got much more speed and is a bit more dynamic, a bit more direct. So it'll depend, but I think that's the only sort of selection problem he's got. I think the particular style.
I think he might start Hadji in a sense to kind of bring us into the game because I think it'll be a technical game that will probably win it a bit of skill. But I can see if it's still like 0-0, 60 minutes, I can see Hadji being the first one probably getting taken off for Jones to go on and try and nip in round the back later in the game. Just if they start getting weary in the legs and stuff like that, so. That's where I would see the kind of that change, but I think he might start Hadji just to get his, like I say, in the game, get his calm down and get the fit in the game kind of thing.
I think he'll play Hadji for other reasons other than football. It's where he was born, isn't it? You know.
I don't think that'll come into the manager.
I think the manager will use that bit of guile, you know. No saying he might not play him at all.
So that means when we go to play Falkirk in the Cup, we'll go to play George Logan because he was born there.
No. I think that's all I'm meaning. If there's a choice,
I'll enter into the thoughts of the manager.
Well, I think it will because I think they think of everything. everything. How can they get that wee bit of leverage? I think Hadji would be devastated if he doesn't play. That's what I think.
Oh well, you should think about us try to watch him sometimes.
Oh, jeez. What a shocker.
I think
Bridge, I'm inclined to agree with you, Bridge. The only downside on that is I've got to be honest. Any manager keeps telling you any guy that's playing and plays well should keep their shirt, but we know that's not always the case because McGregor get in instead of McLaughlin, and yet he hadn't put a fit rang. So we know they've got their favourites. I'm just inclined to think I'm a bit like yourself, Bridge. I genuinely think he might drop Jones to play start with Hadji. But is it the right decision? I don't know.
Can I just say for me, my own personal sense, no. I think Jones has showed a bit of form, and he came on the European game, the previous European game, and did no too bad. Showed a bit of form at the weekend, got us a really good result. And as far as I'm concerned, he should start. Apart from the fact that I do agree sometimes with what Oxter says when he doesn't say, he's my favourite player or something like that, Hadji flatters to deceive sometimes, and he always disappoints when he doesn't play well. Always disappoints.
The boy's got ability, mate, but he's just he's not delivered it consistently, but he's got that potential that he could do something spectacular. Southside, if we pick Hadji because of the Galatasaray connection and no tactical, because it's our best team, we deserve everything they get.
Yeah, I don't pick him because of the connection. But I didn't actually think he'd have played on Sunday. I was trying to get through on Sunday morning.
You left it too late. You left it too late.
I know. I didn't see. I said before, but didn't another time. I said there's certain games. There's certain games.
Advice, mate. Listen, you're all that here. A wee bit of advice. Go to the earlier mass, then you'll make the show.
No mass there. The thing about it is I said to you before. There's certain games where we might go to away for him and Motherwell was one where they're going to get steamed in, and that game probably wouldn't suit them. And it might be the same when you go to Aberdeen and that in certain games. I want the team need to work. We need to chase it. We've already dropped. We've already let 4 points slip in this league, and it's not good enough. So we can't have any more slip-ups. We've got to win, so we need to be picking teams when it comes to the league games that's going to do the business and they're going to get stuck in. But Thursday night, I think Hadji probably plays. Jordan played well, but it's Motherwell we're playing against. It's Galatasaray that's coming into the town, and I think Hadji will have a bit more experience. He's played in European games at Ibrox for us, and I think he might get somewhere a wee bit more space. And if he gets that wee bit of space, then hopefully the intelligence of a through ball or having a shot or whatever outside the box or picking that foul up when the big defenders come in and about him. And I think that's what he'll pick up. So I think he might play ahead of Jones, but I wouldn't be disappointed if Jones plays. I'd like to see him get a chance, and if he does well, then it's better for us, isn't it?
Well, it's a big call the manager's got to make. Now, sure, we'll discuss it tomorrow night. There's pluses and minuses in both sides for me. Blue Star, and I just wish that Aribo and Roof, and obviously it looks as if Big Ita will be on the bench, and after Sunday, they'll be disappointed if he comes on there.
Absolutely. That first game he got was an absolute peach. And it was good to see the big guy getting off the mark. As you say, I stick by this thing. If a player plays well, then he should start the next game. But we know that's not always the case, There's no doubt about it. The wee guy's got ability, Hadji. He certainly has played brilliant in Europe when he gets a bit of space. But how's this mob going to set up when they come to Ibrox? Because they're away from home. Will they sit in and then try and hit us in the break? If they sit in, somebody like Jones maybe wouldn't be better starting. Because Jones likes to run at players. If you're sitting up against 11 players behind the ball, I'm sorry, 9 times out of 10 for me, the wingers are usually out the game because even Kent finds it hard. Whereas if they've got a bit of space to run into channels, that's when their speed and that comes into fruition. But no, it's a difficult one. I just think something tells me he'll start with Hadji. It does.
I'll phone him tomorrow. Give him a wee picture.
I ask him why.
And he'll say, who?
Stevie, come here. Listen to this.
Stevie, you mental? Could just picture you saying that. Are you mental? What are you doing picking Hadji?
Listen, I think Hadji's got ability, mate. I'm just saying that I don't think it done him any harm. I'll go to Southside with this then, Gary. I don't think it done the boy any harm. Not getting a start on Sunday, because I don't think he deserved it after he started his performance on Thursday night.
No, we've got to take into consideration he's still a young boy. He's carrying a heavy name on the back of his shirt. And he cost a few quid and we want him to be probably hitting the ground running. But it takes him a wee bit of time to settle in. And I think he will sort of, like I said before, he'll be in the root games at times. But when he's in the game, then hopefully that's when he's producing the magic, and hopefully we'll get a bit of consistency when we get all our players back fit, Aribo's back, and it'll probably take him an extra month by the time he gets back to being fit and in squads before he gets up and running, so but we don't want to rush him back too much, but when Jack comes back and then he's got the strikers to pick for, depending on if there's anybody getting out the door before the end of the window, then hopefully we'll see a system and we'll see the better of him. Still think he's a wee bit light, but I want to give him a chance, and I think eventually he'll become a good player for us in time. It's just giving the boy a wee bit of time.
Listen, I've made a crit. Some people might have noticed, some people wouldn't. I've been a slight critic of Hadji, but I'm only critiquing his performance. I want the boy to do well, mate. I want him to do well.
Oh, we all do, aye. And see, sometimes you're right in what you say when you criticise him, and I'll be the same, I like him, but at the same time I didn't think Sunday would have suited him, so I was glad that Jones came in and gave him his due. He took his chance and he done well, so it gives the manager another thought, and we'll see how it goes on Thursday.
Aye, brilliant, mate. Gary?
Can I say... What's that?
Can you smell onions?
Nah. I mean, there's only one that's in the night. Blue Stars bang on the money, and it's just the boy's young. He's got all the talent in the world, and he just probably, like he says, just needs nurtured, and it'll be the right game. Like for what we've seen, there's a few games he does get kind of lost in the game, and I think it's just because it's a wee bit of the rough and tumble. But a game, I think, against Galatasaray, like says, a wee bit more open, a wee bit more a team wanting to play football as well, might just be perfect for him. And plus, I've no doubt that his dad will be watching the game and all the rest of it, so he'll be wanting to impress, definitely. I mean, so
if he gets a ticket and gets in, his dad will be raging.
Well, let's say, I think he'll either be there or he'll be watching for somewhere.
He'll be sitting in the director's box, I would think.
I think so. But it's like Bridge says, that, like, I do agree. I think there could be a catalyst there to say, right, you're going to start and time to, like, go out there and make your family proud and all that. So he'll not be wanting to go out and do a half-assed performance. He'll be going out to show that he's got the name on his back. So it might work well for us. I don't think Steven Gerrard is the type of player that will just put somebody in because of that. But I think the boy will be hungry enough because of his name that he might put in one of the performances like Braga or something like that. And if it does, and then, like he says, as the game progresses and Jones comes on, what a great replacement. A guy that's on form, ready to attack it again. It just might be the right tactic for us at the right time.
Interesting to see it pans out. That looks as if it's potentially the only big decision if everybody's fit, Blue Star.
Yeah, it's the only one. It's the only one I can see. Jones or Hadji. I think the rest of the team basically picks itself. unless the manager pulled one out the bag. The Jack one, I can't see that happening either, Ox, unless he would be a sub, because he's missed the last few games, and he come in a big game like that. Do you know what I mean?
No, I don't think he will, mate. I don't think he will. Somebody's just messaged me. Could he play Itten up top? And I thought Alfie played in that role. Oh, there's a thought outside.
Nah, I want Alfie up the top. Through the middle.
Bridgman. Gary?
Through the middle.
Aye, the middle, and he's got, again, the foes fit as well, and you might find that Roof might come back and all. Because I think you were saying, Oxley, Roof's back in training, so you never know. But I mean, they've got Defoe there as well. I can imagine that he might get not so much a start, but he'll be involved in the game with the way he can drift half players and stuff like that against a team like Galatasaray. It might be an absolute nightmare for them.
I'm looking forward to it, Dale. What time is it for you, man? Is that a good time? It's a good time for you, isn't it? Better than these 12 o'clock kick-offs, huh?
Well, it's usual on it, but was it 7:45 kick-off over there? Aye. Oh, that's great for me. That's just about lunchtime. I'll need to scurry about on Thursday morning, right enough to get my work done. But I'm definitely looking forward to it. My opinion on the Hadji thing is I think he'll start. Right. And, if he doesn't make any impact on the game, then they'll bring, Jones on. And one of the other things I was looking at is the Rangers bench is one of the strongest ones I've ever seen. The amount of boys that are sitting on the bench, So I think it's just going to be a case of, just feeling them out. Nobody really knows that much about them. They seem to have had a downturn over the last couple of years. But they've still got a lot of good players, so, we'll have to be on our toes. But I think I'm confident that we can get past them. And if you want a prediction, I would say 2-1 Rangers.
All right. Southside could be real old-fashioned cup tie, because there's no away goals, and even if you go one down, you're just going to try and get back in the match.
Aye, it's certainly it's a one-half game in it, and we've got to start half in the right foot, get into them early, and if we can nick a goal early, it'd be great. I think it'll be a tight game. I don't know how they'll set up, to be honest. They might come out and have a go. I don't really I've never seen them lately playing, so I've not really seen it. So it'll depend if they come out and have a go. If they come out a wee bit like Dundee United and have a go, and then we can have a go back and get the goals in, that suit me fine. I'll take that result all day long.
Aye, Gary?
I mean, I definitely think they will. I don't. Galatasaray, as far as I know, I've never been a team to kind of sit in. They're an attacking team, so it'll be an end-to-end game. I take it'll go to, if it's still 0-0, it'll go to extra time and penalties and that.
I believe so, mate, but they might have changed the rules by Thursday the way the world's gone at the moment.
Aye, no, it's a good thing for us, because we seem to, depending on the game, we seem to either do well in the first half and be slow in the second half kind of thing. So I'd be quite happy to go a 1-0 up at half time and then come back out and manage the game.
I don't care. I'll take a Bridgman. I'd take a Bridgman all day long. I think it's a massive game for the club, Bridge.
Absolutely huge. I think that we have got to find, our whole club have got to find Rangers at their best, got to be at their best, and the team on the park's got to find the best form we've had in Europe for a long time. That's what I think. We really need to show it. We need to really come and do it. And if the worst comes to the worst, have a bit of luck. That'll do me. That'll do me as well. But to play against this team, particularly at home, if they can get through us in any way, shape or form, then they might sort of raise their game and lower ours a wee bit, you know. The usual rubbish. We've all been there. But we really need to find that form and run with it, because that's how good we are. We need to run with it. Get in there, Rangers. Come on.
Bit of luck. That's outside. That's it could come down to that. You just need that break of the ball.
Aye, that's it. Sometimes it happens in Europe. You need that wee bit of luck up with the green. I think it'll be a hard game. I'm not getting any doubts about it, but we've had a good bit of form, and if we can get passing going and if we can get a goal in the first half, then hopefully then we can look at it like they said there in the second half and take it from there. And if we can nick a second one in the second half, then happy days. It's just getting through the 90 minutes, getting the win, and then we'll take it from there. And then we're into the group stages, and we'll see what we get from there.
Aye, be interested to see if there's Souness and Smith waiting in the dressing room for him coming back in. You know, but I'm looking forward to the game. I hope it pans out. Just a pity Bridget, the support can't get along.
It'd be wonderful, wouldn't it? But do you think there'll be any Rangers fans will go over? Do you think some of them will go over? Very dodgy being out in this bloody about this lockdown stuff, you know, COVID.
I don't know, mate. The young boys are the young boys, aren't they?
Oh, you know, God, aye, that's what we're talking about. Yeah,
if you were 18, you'd have been there with the drum, wouldn't you? Come on,
what? Yes.
Well, no criticising. But maybe I don't know, mate. But a big game for the club. As I said already, Gary. But prestige, revenue, momentum, it's all there for us in this game, because if we go through, it just gives us such a lift.
Aye, and like I was saying earlier, Oxy, it opens up doors. So it means that we can probably go for a higher calibre player as well. Can invest in a team, possibly. Like I was saying earlier, I mean, there'll be just one player. Then you might open the door for signing a player plus a decent loan player as well. Because we've not got a loan yet in the squad, and usually by this point we've signed at least one loanee for somewhere. So it'll be interesting. It's very important. It keeps the Rangers name out there as well. That they've took a big scalp.
Aye, obviously, we a few years back in the south side, we weren't interested. The coefficient we are now.
Aye, especially we're going to win the league this year, aren't we? So we should put it straight in anyway. But we've kept the coefficient up in the last few years. But I'm just interested in us just winning in Europe or doing well for the club. But what I was going to say was quickly there is, I think we need to get into group stages because the club needs the money. I don't know whether in the background, but I do know I think the club need to generate money. So if it's through the group stages, then that's great. I still believe, I thought the board probably thought we'd be selling Alfie. I thought maybe Alfie would have went, but the way it's going, it looks like he might stay, and if he does, then that's great for us this season because he's looking better and sharper. But I don't know. I still think the club need an injection of cash. So the group stages is the way to do it, and that's the way forward, isn't it?
Aye, obviously it's worth a few million quid, you know, and it's worth a lot more money than anything you get in Scotland, mate. So it's going to be good for the club, mate.
Aye, definitely. Back where we should be. That's the way it is. Back where we should be.
Here, Dale, and under Stevie Gerrard, the European games have been exciting.
Oh, it's been unbelievable. you know, having watched it through the banter, watched it through the banter years now, the rest of it, and against the teams like Alloa and Forfar and all these teams, and then all of a sudden, you're back up there again, competing in Europe. I mean, I don't know if I tell you the last game I was at Ibrox in 90. I think it was 92. It was the Rangers versus Bruges, and I was standing right behind Nisbet. I was in the stand, and I'm standing there, and then he hit that ball. You know, I mean, that was the last game I was at.
If you live to the 100 in 5 years' time, mate, you'll never see another goal like that.
No, I don't think so. No, that was just, it was crazy. It was mental. And when he hit that ball, it must have went in about 3 different directions around the back of the net, you know. And I was standing with my dad at the time.
Is that the bizarrest goal we've ever seen?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Especially when you saw it from behind. When you saw it from behind, you saw the different directions it went before it bounced and then, you know, hit the back of the net. It was the weirdest goal I think I've ever seen, you know, in my life. But
for you?
Aye, definitely. I was just racking my brain there when you said that, but no, I can't think of one. That's definitely, I don't think there's anything can top that, to be honest.
No.
Rich?
I've never seen anything like it. I only saw it on the telly, but I've never seen anything like it. The bizarre. Apart from that goal on Sunday by Edmondson, hitting the corner of his 50-pence piece.
Let's take goal.
Straight into the net. Wow. No, but that was a bizarre goal by Nisbet. But you know, the smile on his face, told it all. It just absolutely exhilarating.
We've reached that time of the year.
Whoa. Well, good luck at that. Well, what can I say? Another marvellous night, Oxford. Well done to everybody. Really enjoyed a good conversation. Well done to everybody. Can I just say to all the Rangers fans all over the world, and particularly the Rangers fans on here, on Rangers Radio, every single one is one more sleep. Everybody, 2 sleeps, sorry. 2 sleeps.
Rich.
Miscalculating.
2 sleeps.
Keep it going for the Rangers. Every single one is keep it going for the Rangers. Keep it going.
2 sleeps and 3 naps for you. Can I thank everybody that's called in this evening? Big Al for Australia, Dale for California, Blue Star, Southside Bear, of course, Brisbane and Gary. Thanks to Fox for coming in and joining us. Thanks to Fox and Old School Blue for doing the technicals. This has been Rangers Radio. We'll be back tomorrow night between 8 and 10 talking about all things Rangers. But we'll be joined by Linda. Take it away, Old School Blue.
Rangers are here to stay. Rangers! Every game that's going on, we'll be there, 50,000 strong. Home and away, wherever they play, we'll be following on. We don't give nothing away. They tried to take our medals away. We told them no way. On the box we won them fair and square. They're in the trophy room and they're staying there. Home and away, wherever they play, we'll be following on. We don't give nothing away. We traveled many thousands of miles with the Rangers apprentice boys. Peterhead, Elgin and Montrose. We even went to Handon, but the SFA were closed. No, we don't do walking away.